Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Heartbreaking details emerge in the death of a newborn found in a bag in Lincoln Park as the baby's mother is charged with murder. Grant?
Election leaders from across Michigan coming out today to criticize a slate of Republican-backed voting bills. Coming up, the ones they highlighted, saying they're the most dangerous.
Already near capacity from a surge in COVID patients, hospitals are looking 2 weeks down the road and preparing for much worse if something doesn't change. The coronavirus again tops our news at 6 as several hospital systems in our state issue a plea to the public for help to stop a tidal wave of new cases.
State reports 6,303 new cases over the last 24 hours. And sadly, we've lost 112 more Michiganders to the virus over the last day. That includes 81 from a review of vital records.
On the vaccine front, Pfizer's CEO says a booster shot will likely be needed for people within 12 months of getting fully vaccinated for COVID-19. He went on to say it's possible for annual vaccinations against the virus. Hospital systems, including Beaumont, Henry Ford, and Michigan Medicine tonight are pleading with Michiganders to mask up, social distance, and avoid indoor gatherings.
And while there is considerable concern tonight about hospital capacity, mostly filled, they're looking down the road 2 weeks ahead, and that is what has them so deeply concerned. Rod Maloney live tonight in Royal Oak with more on the story. Rod.
Devin, you know that in economics they call it a lagging indicator, right? It takes a couple of weeks for us to get to the reality of what's happening on the ground today when it comes to COVID. And that's what they're worried about here. They say they've got enough rooms, they can make enough hospital beds, they can even put up tents if they have to. The one thing that they need more than anything is something they don't have a lot of, and that is staff. The Beaumont and Henry Ford hospital systems say that they're above 90% capacity and don't have much room to expand, even though COVID cases do daily. Still, Beaumont's chief nursing officer, Susan Grant, said today,
our doctors, respiratory therapists, our teams, they're tired and they're worn. And they're not only physically tired and worn, they're emotionally tired and worn.
We are feeling a great pressure point.
Henry Ford Chief Operating Officer Bob Riney agreeing that the staffing shortage is the biggest worry on the horizon as hospitals reach COVID patient capacity.
We evaluate that every day based on staffing and based on bed availability. And I think that the staffing problem is a greater challenge than bed availability.
So what are the hospitals doing to prepare? Beaumont's infectious disease director, Dr. Nick Gilpin, says
some of our hospitals have gone back to establishing a curbside triage center for some of the intake of these patients as they come to our emergency centers.
Now, Dr. Gilpin said there's already one up at the Beaumont Grosse Pointe Hospital, but Sky 4 took to the skies today to see if we could see any of those tents, and there didn't appear to be any. Beaumont is also saying that they're looking into this at Beaumont, Farmington Hills, and Dearborn, but so far, no tents were visible there either. Now, one of the things that they're telling us is that the nurses, particularly nurses who are getting to retirement age, are just exhausted and opting to retire and aren't staying. And so now they're having to go to staffing companies and the like to see if they can get more hands on deck as a way to cope with this staffing problem. Back to you.
So what are the other things then, Rod, that the hospitals are doing here? As we mentioned, they fear the worst is still ahead.
Right, and so one of the things, Devin, that they're looking to do is to be as flexible as they can. They're putting these tents out, but they're also looking back to what happened a year ago, knowing that, for instance, the patients don't stay as long, so they think that they get a little bit of a break there, that the average age of a patient now is about 50, which means that they don't have as many complications, and so therefore they can move them in and out more quickly. Yeah. But they're having to do things like take people who don't normally work in clinical settings and putting them in those if they can in fact qualify, because they need the hands.
Well, a really rough situation at the moment. All right, Rod.
Today, Henry Ford Health System also announced it is partnering with the federal government to increase access to monoclonal antibody therapies. That includes opening a new infusion center at Chass in Southwest Detroit and expanding infusion services at Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit, Henry Ford Macomb in Clinton Township, and Henry Ford Allegiance in Jackson. You do not have to be a Henry Ford patient to be treated at any of the sites, but you will need a referral from a doctor. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with a closer look at who is eligible to receive these so far underutilized treatments.
Yeah, Kim, so these drugs have been available under an emergency use authorization since late last year, November actually. Initially, the supply was tightly controlled over concern that there would be a very high demand. Well, it's turned out that we actually have plenty. What we need is for doctors and patients to be aware of when they can be used. The names are hard to pronounce. Bamlanivimab and etesevimab from Eli Lilly and another combination cocktail from Regeneron. They are monoclonal antibodies that, when given as a single IV infusion, immediately give antibody protection against the spike protein on the surface of the coronavirus. The research on their effectiveness is what has guided the FDA in determining who can and cannot receive the drugs. Starting with the groups who are not eligible for these treatments. If you are hospitalized with COVID-19 or if you require supplemental oxygen, you do not qualify for treatment with a monoclonal antibody. In order to qualify for these therapies, you need to have tested positive for COVID-19 and be within 10 days of symptom onset. Also, you need to have at least one of the following high-risk conditions: obesity, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, an immunosuppressive illness, or age over 65. Now, you're also eligible if you are between 55 and 65 years old if you have high blood pressure, heart disease, or chronic lung disease. Now, finally, it can also be given to children between 12 and 17 who have other very specific medical conditions. So here's the bottom line. If you have symptoms and you test positive for COVID and you fit any of those criteria, you should contact your doctor about being referred for an infusion of a monoclonal antibody treatment. Now, I know that is a lot of information, so we will post the indication for these medications on our website, clickondetroit.com, as well as a link to another couple of websites that can help you find locations where these infusions are available.
So help me understand, and just so we're all clear, these monoclonal antibodies are not a substitute for being vaccinated. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. The best thing for everyone is to avoid getting COVID to begin with, and that, of course, can really only happen with a vaccine. These treatments are only useful after you've become infected. Okay. And while they are very helpful, even with treatment, many people who are treated will still get worse.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Dr. McGeorge, we appreciate the information as always. Devin.
Let's turn now to what's been going on outside. A real mixed day of sun and rain.
Yeah, let's check in with Ben to see what in the world's going on with the weather here.
Well, Kim, at least we don't have any snow out there right now. This is all rain that we've been tracking for the last few hours, but we do have sort of another slug of moisture rotating down from the north. So this area is going to start to expand a little bit further to the east. We're expecting to see more scattered showers, at least in the evening. But once we get to about midnight, that should be about it. You see that starts to wane, and in the overnight hours, we'll still have some clouds around as we get into tomorrow. But at least we'll be done with the rain for the short term. So temperatures down to 41 at midnight. That's when the faucets shut off. We're going to the 30s again tonight, just not quite as cold as what we woke up to this morning. No snow in the short-term forecast, at least. We'll check the weekend and see if anything shows up warmer. If you want a sneak peek at the 10-day forecast, as always, check our local forecasters app. It is free in your app store by searching WDIV. Guys?
All right, Ben. Top election officials came out today against a slate of bills from state Republicans aimed at making sweeping changes to Michigan's election laws. Grant Herm's following this story today. They did not mince words on it today, Grant.
Devin, they certainly did not. Now, these bills are being compared to those new laws in Georgia that made national headlines. Michigan's bills aren't set to be heard in Lansing until a little later this week, but today opponents of those bills were sounding their alarms.
Today, Michigan election leaders criticizing a package of Republican-backed voting bills in the state Senate. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson not holding back.
And yet here we are, witnessing state legislators acting as if their anti-American effort to take away citizens' freedom to vote is somehow the right thing to do.
The 39 bills have been widely criticized by voting rights experts, major Michigan businesses, and local clerks like Detroit's Janice Winfrey.
It is very clear that the legislators who drafted these bills clearly want to restrict the voting rights of the people of Detroit and other like communities. And we're not going to stand for it. We fought too hard.
Among the provisions most criticized would be the requirement for a photocopy of valid ID to be mailed to a clerk's office for an absentee ballot, something not even required in the high-profile laws that just passed in Georgia. Another, not allowing clerks to pay for return postage, which clerks say would harm low-income voters. But the state GOP echoing a national refrain, saying their bills are meant to make voting easier and prevent cheating, despite no evidence of cheating in the 2020 election.
I would suggest the Secretary of State to listen to her constituents, listen to the thousands and thousands of Michiganders who have expressed legitimate concerns surrounding election integrity and their sacred right to vote.
Now, those concerns are likely sincere, but they're not based in any evidence. In fact, they're based in a lie that the election was rife with problems, which you know that it wasn't, but voters have been repeatedly told otherwise. Back to you.
That's all right, Grant.
A 76-year-old Inkster man is facing charges in the shooting of an insurance salesman. Investigators say the 27-year-old salesman went to James Moore's home Tuesday because of a request for life insurance information. Prosecutors say there was a fight and Moore shot the man in the leg. He's now facing assault and gun charges. The salesman is expected to be okay.
Getting our first look at the Lincoln Park mother charged in the death of her newborn baby. Body of the child was found in a bag in a wooded area by police behind a building on 4th Street near Goddard. This was back on March 6th. Earlier this month, officers arrested 28-year-old Autumn Tate in connection with that discovery. Tate was formally charged today with felony murder, first-degree child abuse, and abandonment of a child. She's being held right now with no bond.
In a Local 4 News update, a Northfield teacher charged with sexually assaulting a middle school student pleaded no contest today. Jason Dean is accused of assaulting a girl he taught at Cedar Crest Elementary in Springfield Township in 2010. Investigators say Dean started talking to the girl online, then sexually assaulted her in his classroom, on a plane back from a school trip, and at a private apartment he hid from his wife and kids. In Inkster, a former teacher is also charged with sexually assaulting a student. Prosecutors say Ted Anderson began assaulting the girl back in 2007 when she was in the 6th grade at Thomas Gist Academy. They alleged Anderson would pick her up from the bus stop and drive her to his home in Detroit. He's facing 6 counts of criminal sexual conduct. Prosecutors fear there may be other victims, and they're asking people to come forward.
Ahead here at 6, some innovative new plans for the property that's long been home to an apple orchard and cider mill in Oakland County.
Plus, teamwork between burglary victims and police lead to the recovery of some of the family's stolen jewelry. Find out how it happened next.